Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the grayscale trusts as well as the yieldmax ETFs, dividends, and rdte, and the rest of the roundhill gang. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so there's a couple of things I wanted to go over first before we do that. And again, this is for full transparency, just so you guys know. So that way, you're not caught out of the loop or anything. Try to keep you guys up to this in as close to real time as possible. But we did buy some more CLSK. Okay, we are now 1,100 shares into this thing. I'll tell you guys right now, I would be shocked if the Bitcoin miners were not fully running to the upside by probably about the middle to maybe the end of January. I don't think it's going to take longer than that, but we'll see. So you can see here 1,100 shares, 1583 on average. So it's a pretty large position, but we are definitely expecting this to pay out pretty handsomely at the end of it all. So as for right now, we have some short-term covered calls put on. So that's about, I think the total was $250 in premiums. Again, this is only for a 10-day period. If it was for a month, it would be a lot more. We're not expecting CLSK to be at 16 by the end of next week. If it does, well, okay, I guess we'll just have to get out and maybe reposition in at a little bit higher price, which it's not really much higher than our current price. So yeah, wouldn't really be saying much. So anyways, that's another $250 on the table. Also, we did take some profit on Dash, the cryptocurrencies. So we pulled out of Dash and we moved over into Horizon again. So that was about a $2,800 total. So we took the money out of Dash for about a $650 profit, put that into Horizon at about $15. And again, the thing I want you guys to understand about this, how we're thinking about this, is Dash is a great project. We did have a pretty good price, $38 per token on average. It's currently at 48. But again, we were only really looking for about a 5 to 6x, so about $200 to $240. And even with getting Horizon at $15, it's already up, as you can see. But even with getting it at $15, the previous all-time high for Horizon was 170 something, 175 or something like that. So basically, an 8 to 10x on this at these prices is still realistic, in my opinion. And the thing that we were thinking about with Dash is it's a great project. It probably will go up massively. But from cycle peak to cycle peak, these cycle peaks, the price that it has hit for Dash has gotten smaller, whereas the price peaks that had been hit for Horizon have gotten larger. Okay. Now, when Trump gets elected, it's not to say that, or not elected, I mean, when he gets into office and, we get the actual alt season, it's not to say this thing can't go much higher. It could easily do so. As a matter of fact, when Trump was in office in 2018, that is actually when Dash had its biggest pump, as you can see. But yeah, from cycle peak to cycle peak, this thing did a much smaller peak. But if I go over to Horizon, let's see, Horizon USD, we'll pull up the Binance chart because I think that one has the longest history. Yes, it does. You can see from 2017 to 2020, there was a huge increase in the price. Okay, so we're seeing that as well. And the last thing here is that Horizon is smaller in market cap than Dash is. Okay, again, I've told you guys this 1,000 times. This is true not just for crypto but for stocks. The smaller the market cap, the larger the upside potential profit. Okay. With Filecoin, there's an exception here. Again, I know this is top 50, but it's a deep end project. Okay, a deep end is going to be huge. Again, I would not be shocked. You can see cycle peak to cycle peak. This thing also grew. That's another reason why we bought this. But I would not be shocked to see this thing go to like $100 to $150 at least by the time it tops out. Okay. So with this one in particular, it's a special project that we picked up, as well as Gala, which is also top 100. And that is because it's a gaming token. All right. So let's get into the trust now. So you guys know all that stuff. We'll go over the native crypto portfolio in the next video when we talk about Bitcoin. So let's actually do the dividends real quick. So yieldmax ETFs, again, I'm not entirely sure which round or batch this is. It could be group A, group B, I'm not sure. But again, we have all the stats here. So YMAX 12 cents, YMAG just shy of 18 or 17 cents, Coney about $1.34, Fiat 68 cents, MSFO 41 cents, AMDY 30 cents, NIFLY 86.5, ABNY just shy of 40, PYPY 60 cents, and ULTY 71 cents. Out of all these positions in this grouping, we have Coney, YMAG, and YMAX. Coney is crypto specific, just so y'all know we do intend to get out of this before the end of next year. Okay, so qdte, this is the round hill one. So the Q is for the NASDAQ, the R is for the Russell, and the X is for the S&P. So these are weekly paying, not monthly paying, with the exception, like the yieldmax funds, with the exception of YMAG and YMAX. Those are weekly paying, but the rest of them are on rotating schedules, but they all pay monthly. Okay, so qdte, which is the only one we currently have, 16.5 cents. And which again, I mean, it's not really surprising. There hasn't been a lot of volatility in the markets. As you guys know, options pay premiums based on volatility. So obviously, the more explosive the move, the more premiums you're going to get, right? Russell 2000, the largest here, so 37 cents. And xdte looks like about 15 cents. So yeah, not bad. I mean, it's still 60 cents a month. That's a lot. So a lot of people think that's not a lot for dividend paying stocks. Yes, that is 60 cents a month for anything is a lot when you're only paying about $50 a share for that payment per share. Okay, so let's get into the trust now. So LTCN here. I think it's looking good so far on the week. I like that we have this nice long wick bouncing off of this channel breakout point here. On the weekly candle, I'd like it better if it was a green candle, but take what we can get, right? Still above the EMAs on the daily. That looks good. Again, the MACD turned green back here on the weekly in October, and ever since then we kind of sledged up, and then we had a breakout. I told you guys likely that was coming, and it did. So again, the buy zone still down here at 18, targets between 25 to 54. Just so you know, this is a breakout candle right here from this channel, and if we get a retest and a push higher, that would be the confirmation. Again, that's all trading terminology. We can talk about that in a separate video. 200% gain. Okay, so BCHG, next one here. Okay, so not quite above the breakout point here. This could also be considered to be, let's see here, this one right here. So this could be an inverse head and shoulders, which we got a breakout from, but there could also be a larger inverse head and shoulders here, which is kind of weird. You have one within the other, but yeah, if that is the case, and this is the neckline, whereas this would have been the neckline, the target then becomes a lot bigger. So for this target, assuming that it breaks the neckline here, roughly about 1370-ish. However, if this is the only one that breaks out, which again would, in my mind, would be ridiculous because these things probably will go to new all-time highs. Well, okay, never mind, scratch that. So the first target already got hit. We already hit that 930, okay? So the smaller nested, as they use in coding, nested inverse head and shoulders, the target for that already got hit. So the next target would be about 1370. Okay, so I'd say about the current price, probably a good area to buy. So 740 to about 780, somewhere in there, 730, 780. Again, not financial advice. Targets up here, 1250 to about 24. So this move about 212% gain. And these measurements that we're doing, guys, these are just micro measurements, okay? These things could easily go much higher than what I'm showing you guys. I'm just, for those of you guys out there that want to position trade and are looking to maybe accumulate in between zones, something like that, or just swing trade it, take profits, this is for you guys. For those of you guys that are hodling for the longer term, you just probably simply want to know what the levels are, nothing more, right? And then you wait for the macro videos. Okay, so HZEN, pullback buy area here is still going to be about $5. Targets are going to be anywhere from 8 all the way up to 1240. 150% gain. And do keep in mind there are different kinds of traders in this market. Okay, not everybody is looking for a 10-20x. Some people may just want to be making a quick 50-100% gain. or stack their shares going into the bull run. I mean, the Bitcoin whales do that exact same thing. Believe it or not, they are buying and selling, many of them throughout the Bitcoin bull run at certain points to further accumulate Bitcoin. Okay. Believe it or not, that does happen. Bitcoin whales created their wealth through this process. Okay. So, plus they might have got in early. There's always that too. So, ETCG buy area here, roughly about 13 targets. I'd personally be looking at about 20. You could say maybe 1850 to 20. It depends on how much of a gain you want to get here. So 52% gain. Let's see, next one here, ETH. So pullback areas anywhere from 24 to 28. I'd be looking at the cup and handle target up here, 53 as the target. Again, the all-time highs for ETCG is at 96, 120% gain, GBET. Yeah, I mean, GBET's pretty much in the buy zone. I mean, maybe it pulls back to the EMAs, maybe not. This is an indecision candle, so the market hasn't decided. That's why you see wicks on both ends. It's like the Darth Maul stick. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Star Wars, but I thought Darth Maul was pretty awesome. You know what I mean? I'm not for the Sith Lords. I consider myself to be one of the good guys, but I still thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, anyways, this Darth Saber here looking thing is actually an indecision candle, which means the market hasn't decided whether it wants to go up or down yet based on this candle at the current time. So buy zones here anywhere from, I'd say probably about 750 up to the top of the zone, so 990. Target 32. 330% gain. FILG, so nice little hammer candle. As of right now, right off the EMAs, that's always a good sign. I would rather it be a green candle than a red one, but, take what we can get, right? So buy zone pullback area here, 58 to 65. Target would then be the all-time highs. There's pretty much nothing in between there except maybe this, but I wouldn't really be too concerned about that. So $400. 575% gain. GLIB. So we're trying to get above this white zone, or the white breakout point here, this little line, but again, we haven't broken it yet. So pullback areas here, roughly about 16 to say maybe $16 to $17, for like the optimal price. For those of you guys that just have to be like snipers about it, you have to be extremely precise. It'd be about 16 to 17 bucks. Okay, so all-time highs at 80. That would be the first hit point. So 400% gain here. G-Link, also another very nice looking dragonfly-ish candle. This one's a green though, so that's good. Buy zone 71 to about 85. Targets up here 220. 220% gain. GSOL still kind of sludging around. Again, this is a bear flag. It's a bearish target, but if this were to actually play out, it means the price would go negative. So in my opinion, the possibility of this playing out is pretty much non-existent. Plus, also, it's already had a huge dump. Usually when something drops off a cliff like that, like SMCI, for example, it usually does go up quite a bit. That's usually what happens. So nothing just goes down 80% and then goes to zero. Occasionally, it could happen on rare instances in the stock market, but it probably doesn't really happen that often, would be my guess. Okay, so buy zone here, 23 to 51. Again, still have not adjusted this chart, but we'll talk about that later. I got to go and figure out why they did the stock splits. So 70 to 80. About a 240% gain. I mean, even if that's all you got, that would still be good, right? Okay, GXLM, this is looking very bullish. It's kind of sludging sideways and up. That's always a bullish sign. Pullback still remains the same, about 36 to 40 for the buy zone. Targets would be 75 to 96, since I don't know at this time, since it's kind of sitting there in the middle, whether that's actually going to break out or break down. 150% gain here. Mana. This is, in my opinion, this is a preem buying opportunity. If you missed it down here, then, as when we swing trade, we always look for the golden cross and then get the pullback into the EMAs. This is exactly what I'm seeing. Again, you guys can do what you want to with that. So anywhere from 1430 to about $20 on this one. And then the all-time highs at 70 would be the kind of first profit target zone, 360% gain at Zcash. Last but not least, $6 for the buy zone. Again, it did break out of that channel. I suspect it's probably not going to go back into it. Okay, so 950 to probably about $14 would be the target there. Roughly about 140, 150% gain. All right, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.